Hey guys, what's up? It's Interested in Black Books here. I'm in a different location. I still wanted to film my June anticipated books, but really quick, I want to explain why I've been gone for so long. I just graduated from law school, so I am done with law school. I am going to be studying for the bar in about a week. I'm giving myself a week to cool down and chill out and breathe, because law school was really hard. Excuse the water in the background. I'm in a different location, like I said. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about my anticipated books for June. Guys, there's a lot of releases in June. There's a lot of Black authors that are having books published in June, and there's just in general a lot of great releases. I tried to narrow it down, but I still have more books on this list than I ever had in any of my previous videos. So just understand that we'll be moving kind of quickly through these books. Let's get into it. I'm going to be talking about the covers. Of course, you already know I like commenting on the covers, because I feel like when you're a book collector, right, you like to read, but you also like to collect books, you do kind of look at the covers. That's part of the art of getting a book. Okay, so let's go through all the June 1st releases. The first book that I'm really excited for that Tuesday is Bacchanal by Veronica, and this is going to be published by 47th North. I had not heard of that imprint before, but apparently it's one of Amazon's new publishing imprints, so make of that what you will. So in Bacchanal, this is about a traveling carnival in the Depression era South, and the carnival's newest act is a peculiar young woman with latent magical powers who may hold the key to defeating the evil that's in the carnival. It's really weird. It says at the end, only Eliza can save her friends, her family, and fight the sway of a primordial demon preying on the human world. So really weird, but I think the visuals are going to be really cool reading it. I believe the author is a Black author as well, so I'm super excited for that one. I haven't heard many people talk about this book or even get an advanced copy, so I really don't know what's up, but I'm excited for this one. Regarding that cover, I really like it. I think it's really cool, I think it's magical, and I think it gets the point across of what the book is about. Walking on Cowrie Shells by Nkweti, going to be published by Grey Wolf Press, so that's an indie publisher, so support your indie publishers. This book is about the intersection of Cameroonian and American cultures, and it's actually a compilation of different stories. In one story, I believe there's a zombie apocalypse in West Africa, and in another story, the pastor's pregnant wife is dealing with the rise of Christianity and conflict with the Cameroonian traditional religious belief that her mother holds. So different stories. I'm super excited to read this. I relate to that being Nigerian American, so I want to read that, and I also relate to any story that deals with a critique of Christianity in Africa. My great-grandfather did not believe in Christianity. He actually followed our traditional Igbo Nigerian religious belief system, and so I'm glad that she included a story like that. It's also an indie press publication. Regarding the cover, I think it's good for what it is. It's simple, but yeah, not bad. The Other Black Girl by Zakiya, Dalila, Harris, published by Atria Books. I've seen some interesting reviews of this book. Okay, it's supposed to be Get Out, but set with the backdrop of New York publishing. This black girl is one of the only employees at a publishing company, and when a new black girl comes in to the publishing company, she's excited. She's like, wow, another face like mine. But apparently they don't get along, and it's supposed to be scary. She gets a note saying leave now. I don't even know. I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen really good reviews and I've seen really bad reviews. I have this book already, not because the publisher sent it to me, but because someone else who got an extra copy sent it to me ahead of time, so I'm gonna read it. I also have Walking on Cowrie Shells as well. The publisher sent it to me in that case. So those two books I'm super excited for. The Other Black Girl we'll have to see. It's been really popular on Bookstagram, I'll say that, but the reviews have been so-so. Also the cover, I like it. Again, I've talked about how I feel like with Black stories, sometimes the illustrations, I feel like publishers aren't putting enough money behind it, but I actually do like this. I actually do like this cover, so that's good. How to Kidnap the Rich by Rahul, Raina, and that will be published by Harper Perennial. Actually, that book is set in India, and then the main character is someone who takes tests for the wealthy of Indian families so that they can get into prestigious schools in India and abroad, but then he gets into this kidnapping scheme that one of his clients leads him to. So it's really weird, but I feel like this is being slept on. It's been described as exhilarating. I haven't seen many people talk about it. I think it's because the cover kind of sucks, in my opinion. The knife like comic strip thing is cool, but then the rest of the book is like, the rest of the book cover doesn't really capture what it's about. I feel like this book could have been made better had the entire book been made like comic-like. So another book I'm excited for, June 1st, again, is Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. That will be published by Flatiron Books. You guys know I don't really like memoirs, but for some reason I've been really into memoirs by Black women. In this book, it talks about basically a Black girl growing up in an impoverished environment, and she basically like puts a lot of faith in her father, right? She puts her father on a pedestal. She feels like her father is like her, he's an artist like her, but she doesn't really know her father because her father isn't around. So it's interesting how she puts her father on a pedestal. She grows up with her mother, but she has a fraught relationship with her mother, and it's just dealing with like family and what it means to like grow up in a like poor environment as a Black girl, and that's how the book is described. So I'm super excited to read that. I've also seen a lot of people talk about it on Bookstagram. I don't have an advanced copy yet, so I'll have to wait until it comes out. The Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzsimons, that's going to be published by Dial, which is an imprint of Penguin Teen, and this book is a book I feel like we really need to get on. It's YA, but again, I feel like YA is the place where people are tackling real issues. In this book, 15-year-old Spencer Harris is a proud nerd, an awesome big brother, and also transgender. And this is not a problem at his like pretty liberal private school in Ohio until there's a new like law that gets passed that forces Spencer's coach to bench him after his coach finds out that Spencer was born assigned female. So I think it's really important to read this book, especially as we're reading news about, you know, transgender bans in the sports arena for kids in high school. I think this book is going to be really important to read, and the author is Black. Okay, the main character is Black. So get into this. Like, this is going to be a really good book. Dead Dead Girls by Nekesa. Afia is a interesting book. I haven't seen many people talk about it, but it's a new historical mystery series set in 1920s Harlem, featuring Louise Lloyd, a young Black woman caught up in a series of murders way too close to home. And so she has to investigate after a series of local Black girls have been murdered over the past few weeks. Yeah, it's kind of a mystery series centering a Black girl. It's giving like Nancy Drew, but like a Black Nancy Drew. So I'm super excited. But also it has the Harlem backdrop. So I think this is going to be very visually exciting. I love the cover. See, this is the kind of cover I enjoy. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I like the style of this cover better. And the outfit, obviously, and the gloves. And yeah. Okay, Ace of Spades by Farida, Abike-Iyimide. So this is a thriller. In this book, two people are the main character, Devin and Chiamaka, which is a Nigerian name, so you know I was already interested. They go to Nivius Private Academy, where there's a lot of money in the student body. You know, it's a rich, private, perfect school body. But something is weird. Like, I guess someone's out to get them both at this school, and they kind of have to discover like what's going on. This is supposed to be a thriller that delves into the heart of institutionalized racism from a new YA voice. So I'm interested in reading that. It's giving me kind of like Dear White People. Yeah, you know how Dear White People is set at like a private academy, college. Like, this is kind of what I'm getting. So I'm excited to read this. Those main characters are Black. The author is Black. And it's set in like a private academy, so it's giving like dark academia low-key too, which I know is really popular among younger readers right now. So An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahereh Mafi is a book set in 2003 after the US officially declares war on Iraq. And you know, if you remember that time, very high tension, Islamophobia at an all-time high. Basically, the main character, Shadi, she wears a hijab, she keeps her head down, but she's having to deal with bigots, and FBI agents are infiltrating local mosques, and Muslim communities being harassed and targeted even more, and she's just having to face that as a young teenager. And what does it say? Her brother is dead, her father's dying, and her mother's falling apart, and her best friend has mysteriously dropped out of her life. So I'm really interested in reading this. It says it's a searing look into the world of a single Muslim family in the wake of 9/11. I think this is really important to read. I was young, obviously, when 9/11 happened, but I do remember just like the suspicion that arose of Muslim people and how that continues to this day. And I feel like we really need to read and educate ourselves on what that looked like for families immediately post 9/11, you know? So I'm excited for this, and that will be published by HarperCollins. Okay, so this next book is going to be published June 8th. So all the books I just mentioned, June 1st. This next book, June 8th. Dear Senthuran, a Black Spirit Memoir by Akwaeke Emezi. So you may know Emezi because you may have read their book Pet, which is a YA fiction novel. You may have read their book The Death of Abike-Iyimide, which is one of my favorite books of last year. But this is a memoir, and it says, in letters addressed to their friends, to members of their family, both biological and chosen, and to fellow storytellers, Akwaeke describes the shape of a life lived in overlapping realities through heartbreak, chronic pain, intimacy with death, becoming a beast, this embodiment as a non-human, and just a grueling work of realignment and remaking necessary to carve out a future for oneself. I'm super excited for this book. I really love Emezi's writing, and they're Igbo Nigerian just like me and my family, so I just really appreciate them, you know, telling other Nigerians and people outside of our culture that yes, there are queer Nigerians. Queerness can be African, and I just really appreciate the work they're doing, so I'm super excited to read this. Again, like I said, I don't love memoirs, but when it's a Black person writing a memoir and they're an interesting person, I'll let it happen. And I love this cover. I'm not just saying it because it's Emezi, I'm saying it because it's kind of abstract, it's kind of cool, it's kind of alternative, so yeah, I like this cover. Okay, this next book is going to be released June 15th, and it's titled Blood Like Magic. This is the first book in the Blood Like Magic series. It's by Liselle Sambury. This is described as a dark, rich urban fantasy debut following a teen witch who's given a horrifying task, sacrificing her first love to save her family's magic. The problem is she's never been in love, and she'll have to find the perfect guy before she can kill him. I feel like that describes the book enough. You got to get into it to understand. I love the cover. Dark skin, kinky hair. Yeah, so I'm super excited for this book. It's going to be published by Simon & Schuster. You know, fantasy books are so long. This is 496 pages. I'm like, wow, like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I appreciate that. But yeah, this is going to be a long one. But I'm super excited for this book, and people need to get into it. I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about this book. Get into it. This next book is going to be published June 22nd. This is Filthy Animals by Brandon Taylor. I have not read Brandon Taylor yet, but I have one of his books. I have Real Life, which talks about a PhD student, Black student, in a kind of like white school setting, and also the student is queer, so he's dealing with being Black, queer at a very white Midwestern college. I still need to read that. But basically in Filthy Animals, so in this, I believe it's a compilation of stories. Set among young creatives in the American Midwest, a young man treads delicate emotional waters as he navigates a series of sexually fraught encounters with two dancers in an open relationship, forcing him to weigh his vulnerabilities against his loneliness. In other stories, a young woman battles with the cancers draining her body and her family. Menacing undercurrents among a group of teenagers explode in violence on a winter night. A little girl tears through a house like a tornado, driving her babysitter to the brink, and couples feel out the jagged edges of connection, comfort, and cruelty. Fun fact, I don't love short stories, but since it's Brandon Taylor, I'll give it a pass. I feel like I've heard so many good things about his writing, and I still need to read Real Life, but I believe y'all when you say he's a good writer, so I am anticipating Filthy Animals. This Poison Heart by Kalynn Bayron. This will be published by Bloomsbury. This will be coming out June 29th. I don't know how to pronounce the main character's name, so I'm not going to say it, but the main character has a gift where she can grow plants from tiny seeds to rich blooms with a single touch. So she needs to use her gift to protect herself and her family when a mysterious stranger visits her. Okay, I don't know, but This Poison Heart, I'm super excited. Again, another cover I love. I feel like a lot of work was put into this. Natural hair on the cover again, which I love. Fantasy books, I'm not the best at describing them, but yeah, those are the books I'm really excited for. Let me know which of these books you guys are interested in, reading, and I'll catch you guys later with more content. Also, the other thing is, I didn't do a wrap up for April because I didn't read anything in April because I was studying for my exam. So yeah, but anyway, I'll catch you guys later, and yeah, let me know what you think of these books. Bye.